Happy New Year. Welcome back.
Happy New Year, LifeGLOSS podcast and Hillary. It's a new
Oh
year.
my goodness. This feels like January that has been a year long.
Are,
And, as Audrey Hepburn says, happy girls are the prettiest girls. And science proves that gratitude makes people beautiful. So let's be beautiful and let's be grateful and let's talk about gratitude this episode.
I think that is so apropos, especially with everything that you've just been through and so many people have been through in Los Angeles with these horrific fires. We are having freezing cold, terrible weather on the East Coast. You have absolutely beyond devastating weather on the West Coast. And I know our friends in the Midwest are getting hit with all types of crazy storms, even as we're recording today. So I agree with you. I think it's a perfect way to kind of start out 2025 with some gratitude and beauty, gratitude for even being here, gratitude for what we have. I am definitely feeling like this is the longest month in history. Let's just pretend that we're already in February and let's just have some fun with beauty and have some fun with makeup today. And I agree with you, Hill. Talking about what we're grateful for is one of the best ways to overcome difficult times or tough change and new beginnings that are just beginnings that really we don't want, right?
Absolutely. And as I sit here and have a little bit of survivor's guilt because there are so many people in pockets around me that don't have homes. And while we had to evacuate more than once, we're so very, very grateful to be able to be in our homes, to be able to be with so many of our friends and family that even if they lost their homes, they still have their lives. So it's definitely been an interesting time of reflection. It's interesting when you have, you know, only moments to grab what is meaningful to you to leave. In our case, we had a little bit more time. So there was a big time of reflection. I had a whole day before really realizing, okay, I need to evacuate because we were between the two big fires. And it wasn't until the Sunset Fire hit for the Hollywood Hills that we had to go. So it was a really interesting time of reflection. And it ironically backed up to when I was just starting to think about how to pack skincare and makeup for a training and education trip that I'm taking to Europe.
I mean,
It's
how do you
interesting. What do you grab and what do you grab
Yeah,
in beauty? It's like prescriptions, passport, check.
right. I mean,
And from there.
do you even like I mean, it's so hard for me to get my head around this, and we want to be so sensitive to our listeners who have gone through tragedy in this past month or who are going through it, right? Like, I mean, this is the thing that I hate about the news. It's like that's all we heard about on the East Coast, where these, was the fires and this whole tragedy. And of course, I'm texting you every 5 seconds, are you okay? Get out of your house. Oh my God. But, now it's like, oh, we've moved on. We're on to something else now. Everyone's arguing about politics now. So it's like, oh my gosh, I think we need to
No,
slow down. We need to take a breath. We need to take a beat and realize there's people out there right now with legitimately the clothing on their back. And our hearts do go out to everyone. So let's just put that right out there.
yeah, today after we wrap here, I'm going and taking a whole bag. I went through my beauty closet and I have several bags of
Yes.
skincare, color, brushes,
Yes.
anything and everything that I
Yeah.
have a duplicate in or that I know someone well enough. I've used it once. Here you go. And I'm going
Yes.
to take things to like my friend's mom and several other people that they don't have deodorant. They didn't have
Right.
toothbrushes. They don't
Right.
have anything.
And,
So,
and some of it is too, Hill, that we decided to, for those of you that have been keeping up with us now for a while, we did go on pause for a few weeks here. And a lot of that was the holidays. And we wanted to obviously take a break, take a breather, celebrate the holidays. But we also wanted to really be mindful of all the tragedy and everything that's been going on, and especially because they, affected us personally, with so many friends that we know, people that have lost things, and people that have lost homes, people that have been through a lot, like more than anyone should be going through. So we wanted to be mindful of that and not come on and be talking about lip gloss during a horrific time. But to your point, I was sitting here and thinking, in the safety of my East Coast world, um, that, what do you grab? Like, how do you even, like, begin to think about beauty? Do you even, I mean, not even beauty. I mean, you're thinking about your life, you're thinking about your pets, your loved ones, your important papers and documents. But to your point, how do you even know what to grab? How do you even know, like, what to do?
Well, having been through several different events like this, from earthquakes, 1989 earthquake, I was in
Yep.
Santa Cruz. So from being through earthquakes to now fires, I was, standing in front of the Soho Grand on 9/11. There's not a lot you can do there but keep moving. I feel like one of the best things I can do is tell people, do everything in advance. It's, you can't ever plan really well for anything. Nothing's ever going to go according to plan, but having a game
Right.
plan gets you those many steps ahead and can get you out of the panic. So packing for an earthquake, maybe that's different than a fire,
Yeah.
a place where you have both. The main thing I can do is recommend that people have 2 copies of your passports, any important documents,
Yeah.
anything like that. Have 2 copies of those.
Right.
Also have them digitally. Put
Yeah.
them, seal them in bags, put them in little pouches and bags with glasses, prescriptions,
Right.
anything that you absolutely need that's life changing, and put them, maybe if you're on 2 stories, put one upstairs, one downstairs, one next to a door, one here. Put them in places
Right.
where you can easily access them. I'm crazy, so I put lots of extra little things in there. I always make sure my cars are always full of gas.
Right.
And
Or fully
also,
charged,
yeah, everything.
Yeah.
You wanna
I
have
mean,
phone chargers in there, you wanna
yeah.
have batteries in there, you wanna have flashlights in there. If anybody wants, I'm going to do a full little prep, if you will, little tiny
Oh,
emergency
that's a
prep
great
bag,
idea.
because it's
Yeah.
important to have some cash, it's important to
Yeah.
have little things in there. So, as far as beauty, it's important to have those things too, just because it helps to give you a sense of feeling a little bit normal even in a crisis. And I found that I was taking things that surprised me. One of them was a new brand, and here's something that's great to know. You need very little. Very few products, things can double as everything. So like if you have an oil that you love, your favorite oil, that can be your cleanser, that can be your moisturizer, you're
Right.
done. That's it.
Hair, body, like,
Hair,
yeah,
body,
it's yeah,
everything. You just need
yeah,
one major
right.
utilitarian item. For me, it was really interesting. I don't think we've ever talked about this brand before. I just discovered this brand. It's called In Your Face Cream. The woman that makes this, because she comes from a Sicilian family, and she treats creating her products like you would think of the grandma cooking her sauce with all of her homemade ingredients. She actually infuses a lot of the ingredients in olive oils for over 30 days. But not
Oh,
only is
wow.
this like a natural product, but it has vitamin C ester, CoQ10, alpha lipoic acid, a lot of that other good stuff.
Wow.
And it lasts forever. But even though this is glass and it's heavy, and a heavy
Yeah,
glass is not ideal to take with you,
sure.
I just took my beauty hack roller because it soothes my soul, but I took this and I knew this would last me forever. I was using it to take off sunscreen, to take off makeup, and it moisturized all in one. So I could have gotten away with just one thing. And you
Yeah,
can put them just in little, you can get like those little travel palettes, and you can
sure.
just put little drops of different stuff in there and slide it in.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's so much to think about, and we don't wanna dwell on all the negativity. We wanna start this year out in a positive way, even though, I wore this because, I'm feeling very jet lagged, quite frankly, very over 2025, and we've only just begun. But I do think that, having you do a follow-up video and talking about how you pack in an emergency and some of the things that you need to kind of feel normal, because I think you bring up a great point, Hill. When we go through crisis and we go through things that are really difficult, those little tiny things of feeling dignified, of feeling a normalcy, having a toothbrush, having clean underwear, having a moisturizer, having, you know, I don't know, a lip balm, like something that just makes you feel safe and makes you feel normal, as trivial as it may seem. I think there's a dignity to that. And I think that there's a security. When you look good, you feel good, it all kind of goes
Yeah.
hand in hand.
And dignity is a word I've been hearing a lot lately. Like Bethany Frankel's been talking about it a
Mhm,
lot. She's been
mhm.
doing some pretty incredible things for Los Angeles through her
Yeah.
foundation, Be
Hats off
Strong.
to her. Yeah, hats
Yep.
off.
Yep.
Yes,
So
yes.
dignity is a big part of it, and especially when people are faced with having lost everything, it can be a shell shock. So if you can, I always recommend if you have a car, have a little backpack in your car with water, flashlight, socks,
I do,
underwear,
even on the East
glasses,
Coast. Yeah.
sunscreen, all of
Yep,
those kinds of things.
yep.
You don't wanna keep any sensitive paperwork in your car or anything like
No,
that. But I have 3 little go
like little
bags, if you
go bags,
will,
survival
scattered
bags.
around the house, and having I was so fortunate I had a place to go. Mind you, I got in the car and I'm on the top of the hill. There was a fire on the freeway that direction, there was a fire on the freeway that direction, there'd just been a fire going south. I was like, "Which how do I get out of here without
Right.
running into a blaze?"
Yeah.
Fortunately, I was able to weave my way south. The
Right.
fire in downtown Los Angeles had gone out the night before, and there wasn't a lot of brouhaha around it. So fortunately, I had a place to go, a very comfortable, loving, warm
Yeah.
place to go, and I'm forever
Yeah.
grateful for that. But having those little things around me, because I took things that we could sell personally, because I thought, you want to know what? Pictures, mementos, things like that, those things I've digitized. If we lose our home, and
Yeah.
knowing the insurance situation in California, knowing everything else, I have to take things that I can sell. So I was
Right.
taking black tie stuff and jewelry and, things that I could actually, make a buck on if we were in a situation where we needed to do that right away. So everybody's strategy is going to be a little bit different. For some people, it's
Sure.
baby pictures and photo albums, and they
Yep.
don't care about those other things. My husband's a
Yep.
musician, so I had to say
Right.
to him, "You get 4 guitars. That's all I can get in
Right.
the car." And he
Right.
was like,
But
4?
it
And
yeah,
I was
but,
like,
it's
3,
moments
but,
yeah, it's moments like that that I think really put everything into perspective
mhm,
and make us grateful for what we do have,
mhm.
and to your point, what we can actually do without. It's
There's so much.
amazing what we can do without. I mean,
Well,
we
you
have
see
so
me
much
in this.
stuff, right?
Yeah, you see me in this silly jacket right now because I've gone through all of my closets and I've pulled everything. Of course, I've gone through and donated. There were things
Yeah,
in my closet that I had a little bit of a sentimental attachment to, but that sentimental attachment meant 0 when it came to somebody needing something.
that's right.
So I've just gone through, if I don't wear it all the time and if I don't need it, great. Things like this that I look in my cupboard and I'm like, this was given to me. Yes, it's a Versace couture from the 90s. Well, I bet I can sell it and give the funds to somebody that can use it in a proper way.
Right,
And I'm doing that through
right,
private donations and private things like that. So you can
right,
see things behind me. I'm photographing and getting all kinds of things ready to go. And it
right.
feels really good to be
Yeah,
going through and
I've
getting
heard this.
through. We don't
Yeah.
need that much.
Yeah, I've heard this from other friends, that I have out there, in LA saying that they use this as a time of obviously positive reflection and a time to reassess, right? A time to go through what you have, what you can do without, what you can donate, what you can give, and kind of the meaning behind things and possessions. And we love our luxury, we love our fun stuff, we love our beauty, we like things, we like sparkly shiny things, but when you really put it all into perspective, it means absolutely nothing. And
Nothing.
I think it is a time of reflection. It's a time to remind everybody to be kind, to take care of each other, take care of yourself, all those little basic lessons, that are
Yeah.
so important to remember.
And we've come so far away from that. Like, we're constantly bombarded with Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and Snapchat and all of these different things. We're constantly bombarded with what you need now and what you have to have. And your image has become your status symbol. And it's like, I feel like we've become such a self possessed and self obsessed society, almost to the point of where it's like we idolize our own image and we're idolizing our own profiles, and like we have these followers and all of this stuff. And I'm like, when something like this happens, and especially in our neighborhood, because we had a lot of concerns with looting, with more arsonists coming in and starting fires, we've had to
Right,
evacuate multiple times because of
right,
arson in the neighborhood. So we've become very close with some of our neighbors, which is not something that
right.
often happens in Los Angeles. And the human connection has really been a jarring and very pleasantly jarring way to snap me out of, as much as I've always tried to stay away from that social media presence, which I have to have because of my businesses. It
Sure.
puts it in a very clear pinpoint and really has shown a light on the fact that we're so self-involved on around us that is more
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, we really are. And it's funny. So my dad's 92nd birthday is tomorrow. So happy birthday, Joe.
Happy
Um,
birthday, Joe.
and he, I bring him up because he was someone who was raised in a very tight community in Boston, and he often talks about that, that everybody knew each other, everybody knew their neighbors, everybody, belonged to the same program. Like everybody was on the same page. Like they knew sometimes too much, but he talked often about his neighborhood and that community and where everyone helped each other and made sure everybody was okay. And it's interesting because he's often said to me, and we've moved so much and I've lived in so many cities and I look at it as something very fortunate. But he's often said to me over the years, he's like, I think it's great and I think it's fun. But he said, how do you develop that safety and that community spirit, that neighborhood? And we often talk about that. And I think there's
Mhm.
pros to it, there's cons to it. But during tragedy and during times like this, you do start to realize, wow, it is important to know who at least my next door neighbor is.
Yes, finding the silver lining in anything in the moment can seem trite, but long term and even short term, it really is the balm that helps to keep people together. And, especially in California, we have vastly and dramatically different views on, you know, politics, religion, the way we live our lives, the things that we do. But we really all have come together as human beings that want what's best for each other. I mean, we've had to go on
Right.
patrols, watching for people on
Yeah.
scooters with blowtorches. It's been
Yeah.
crazy. So, getting
Yeah.
back to the fact that there's the humanity and being kind and generous with each other and patient with each other is so important. And sometimes being patient is, we all know it's really hard.
Yeah, but I think your point about the social media, I think, we've talked about this on and off for such a long time, but the positives of it, being able to reach people quickly, being able to find people that are lost, being able to put together something really quickly, that's the positive side. The negative side is it's made us very isolated in a lot of ways, even though we have this great reach, it's made us so isolated and so self-centered and
Mhm.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So,
Yeah. So
I
I'd
think
love to hear from
yeah,
some of our audience. And I must say, the audience here and the audience that I have for my vintage beauty on TikTok, I was overwhelmed with the love and how many perfect strangers. I mean, they're not total strangers because I know them
right.
through these platforms, and I know you guys through these platforms. But how many of you reached out to me and just checked on me or said, "Hey,
Yep,
thinking of you. Hey,
yep,
praying for you. My whole
yep.
family's thinking of you. My mom and dad were praying for your home. We're hoping that you're protected." And that means so very, very much. So there is that positivity. And I noticed the same thing during the earthquakes, this particularly during 9/11. I was, stranded because I couldn't
Right.
fly,
Mhm.
um, there for a week. And again, I've had this incredible survivor's guilt. And plus, I also felt like I didn't belong because it wasn't my city. So I was like, do I have any right to be traumatized by the fact that I literally just watched buildings come down in front of me and watched
Right.
people jump from buildings, but they weren't my people, and this isn't
Right.
my city.
Right.
So there was a lot to unpack there, but we got to be there for each other, walking the streets and
Sure.
hold people's kids, hand people
Yeah.
your purse, your phone, whatever. Just you,
Right.
nobody came together as strongly as I saw New York come together during that time. And a lot of it is because
Oh,
New
for
Yorkers
sure.
live in the street,
Right.
everyone's out there and we're so close together.
Right. Right. Well, I'm praying and hoping that the rest of 2025 will be a little less eventful, will be a little more positive, a little calmer, maybe give us a chance to all catch our breath and realize that we're all in this together. So,
We are.
yeah.
We are. And
Yeah.
that's one of the main impetuses, and really talking about what we're grateful for. And I found that I've been doing something more with more regularity than I used to. And we hear all of these things about these gratitude journals and saying what you're grateful for. And it always sounds so woohoo and, la, 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 la. But I've been sitting up and before I start my day, just listing, just in my head, even like
Yep.
3 things that I'm super grateful for. And at the moment, it's something as simple as, my sheets, my
Susan,
house,
Susan,
my
Susan.
pillow.
Is
Susan,
it a
Susan,
supposed to
Susan.
3? Susan, Susan, Susan?
Yeah. Like,
The
the
3 things that
birds,
just
I
come
can hear
to
my
mind?
birds singing again because the birds didn't sing for so long here. Like, I
No.
can hear my birds singing again. I can hear little
Yeah.
things creeping around us, and, I just some people meditate, some people pray, whatever it means for you, but for me, I'm just, thank God for, all these little things because the little things are the biggest things, and it's so
The
easy to take things
littlest
for
that's
granted.
right.
So
That's right. That's
it's great,
right.
and as I get ready to travel, I'm going and teaching some classes abroad. I think it's also really interesting that I'm going to be in places that have had some instability lately, where I'm going to both Amsterdam and Lithuania, so I'm flying right over Poland, so it's been spicy, to say the least, over there. So I'm really interested in, touching people in those cultures and seeing how they've been affected by, they've been war torn for going on 3 years at this point. So
Yeah.
I think my heart posture is very different going there than it would have been a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So stay tuned. I'll be bringing back lots of info. I'll be scouring and keeping an eye out for us for things too.
Oh, good. Well, as we transition to things that we are grateful for, and I think we've, really talked a lot about what's been going on, and now taking some positivity spin here. I did pick up a couple of new items for our
Oh,
listeners who are always interested in what's new and what's exciting. So, not to trivialize everything, and it's always a tough segue to go from
yeah, I was going to say it's a tough
from
segue.
something very serious and very heartfelt to something as trivial as beauty. But that's why you're listening to us, right? That's why you're here for Life Gloss. It's life and it's gloss, right? It's
Speaking of,
sometimes
how did we both end up wearing fuchsia lipstick, which we
so.
never wear on the
So
same day? This
we
was not planned, people, by the way.
it's
We're
never
not
planned
we're
with
not a
us.
twinsy podcast, but
No,
we do
but
this a lot.
if you look back through our podcast, over the past year and change, you'll see oftentimes we'll have a similar lip color or we will have a similar color shirt. And this is the God's honest truth. Look, I'm putting up both hands. We never talk ahead of time about, oh, we should wear this or we should do this or we're not that
No.
we don't have our shit together that good, okay? So it's hysterical that somehow we have become one brain in this and we automatically will put our cameras on and just start cracking up because not always, but 9 times out of 10.
Oh, 9.
We have
Easy. 9.
the same color lip or the same kind of makeup vibe and the same color shirt.
And this
And
was
it's
just so
become a
random
joke.
because
Like, this is
when?
so random. So, I'll touch upon this and tell you why.
So which one do you have on?
So, I normally never wear shades like this. You'll never see me in what I call a cocoa pink, and if you know, you know. So, cocoa pink was one of the hottest shades of the '80s and '90s at Chanel, and it was such an iconic shade. It was this fluorescent hot pink. Well, I did my best to try to replicate that over the years because it's long discontinued. And I found it in YSL number 19. Now, I don't know if they still make this one or not anymore. I feel like they do, but it is the perfect blue, hot fuchsia 80s pink that I usually only break out if I have a faux tan, because I
Right.
don't tan
Yeah.
naturally anymore, but a faux tan or bronzer or whatever, and I'll wear this on vacation. And it's called my happy color because you know me, I pretty much always wear nudes. If I want to be sultry and sexy and dramatic once a year, I'll toss on a red, but I pretty much stick to a nude lip. It's kind of my thing. Well, I said today when we were doing this podcast, as I was getting dressed, I said, you know what? The weather's been terrible here. I'm so sick of hibernating because I've been in hibernation. I'm going to be honest. It's freezing. It's yucky. I hate January based on everything we just talked about. And I'm just a little maxed out and overwhelmed with a whole bunch of stuff. So I said, you know what? I'm going to put on something that's just going to make me happy because this is the color I wear on vacation. So I put my vacation lip on because I thought, you know what? I just need to feel happy today. And sure enough, I turn on my camera and there you are staring back at me like a mirror in the same lip. So if
Isn't it
any of you out
wild?
there need to be happy, or you're
It's
like, you
wild.
know what? I just want to wear something that I never ever would reach for in a million freaking years. Go get yourself a hot pink lipstick and
I
toss it
know.
on.
I know, it's wild.
This is great.
I had a 6 AM, phone call, a Zoom call, a 6 AM Zoom call with
I'm
Europe,
sorry.
and I know. And I rolled out of bed and threw on a jacket and threw on this lip,
Yeah.
no skincare, no mascara, no nothing, and I
Yeah,
was like,
that's me. Nothing. We
"This
got
will
nothing.
do." And it
Yeah.
does. So you're lucky, Suze, because you can wear the really blue, like that ultraviolet
Yeah, I love
neon base
purple
pink.
lip and yeah, I do.
The Chanel one, the cocoa,
Mhm.
yes. And NARS also has the
Yeah.
most magnificent fuchsia. For me, for whatever reason, I can't do that undertone. It makes my skin look weird. It makes me look really cheap. Like for some people, it looks like rich bitch cocoa, Palm Beach, whatever. For
Palm
me,
Beach lip.
yeah, but
Yeah.
for me, it ends up looking like Florida trashy, not Florida classy.
You
Like
mean
that
the wrong
little
side?
that
The wrong
weird that
side of
little bit of
Florida?
the ultraviolet, it makes
Yeah.
my teeth look yellow, which my teeth are not yellow.
Mm.
And it's a funny thing with the purples on me. So I usually can't do a pink because it's not quite right. And then the one and only one that I've ever found, believe it or not, is this young blood one, and it's called Bombshell,
Ooh, it's
and
pretty
it's
on you.
pink enough that it gives you that
Yeah, it's got a little
really
bit of a
pink.
plummy base to it almost, and maybe that's why you're not feeling as, like,
It's not
80s
as high
video
pitched.
vixen. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
It doesn't have that ultraviolet light reflection, which for
Mhm.
whatever reason on me just
Yeah.
doesn't work. So, isn't that a funny thing? But for you, it looks expensive and beautiful.
Well, it is expensive, but,
It is
meaning
expensive, I know.
YSL does a really, really,
Oh,
really good lipstick, and they do a really good hot pink, and they do a really good
mhm.
red, and, those French colors,
Oh,
right?
the
Those
reds,
still
they're reds. Yes.
Parisian type
I love a
lips.
YSL lip.
Yeah.
Love a YSL lip. Their light
So
pinks are great for me too, but also sometimes they
yeah,
can go a little purple. Little
yeah,
too purple.
yeah.
So,
So while we're talking about our happy lips and trying to pretend it's not January, I also decided, you know what? What the hell? I'll get a new piece of makeup for spring and bring it on here, pop on and play around with it. So, I went to our friends at, the Double C's, and they are now doing these Mondo
Ooh.
quads, as I'm affectionately
Ooh.
calling them. So they did one over the holiday season that had a purple and kind of a silvery white and an orange and very much an 80s kind of pop thing. And I just wasn't feeling it for whatever reason. Because I really don't wear eyeshadow often. And it wasn't something I even wanted for my kit because I thought no one's going to be requesting this from me. So the type of people I do makeup on, no one's going to request this. So I thought, maybe they'll do another one. So they did. So this is the spring collection, even though we're in 20-degree weather here. This is a spring collection. And these are neat because they are, first of all, we love the huge size, right?
I was just gonna
But
say that's the size,
it's
the whole
massive.
palm
Like,
of
look
your
at
hand.
my hand. Like,
It's
look
so
at
generous.
this is like objects will appear larger. Yeah, this does
Yeah.
appear larger, my friend. Um, so it's eyeshadow, it's blush, it's highlight. You can use them individually or swirl. So I don't
Yeah.
have anything on except my lip. And I may have put a little concealer underneath my eyes just to not scare anybody. So as we're talking, I love the mirror too because the mirror's huge.
Woohoo.
I
Did they magnify it? Because sometimes Chanel gets
it's
fancy and they magnify their
It's
mirrors.
not magnified, but I'll be honest with you, it's such a good mirror that I can actually see myself in it without having
Mm.
to wear my glasses. So, I don't know if it has a slight oh my god, magnification to it. I don't think it does, but I can actually see in it. So, as we're talking about gratitude and things we're grateful for, I brought my brushes down and I thought I would just play around a little bit and put some
Okay.
on and
While you
see.
do that, I'm gonna show you something.
Yeah, show me something.
I have a surprise for you too.
You do?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Shh,
You can
don't.
see I'm putting my
What do you want first? A little highlight? Should I put the little I'm
Yeah,
gonna use this little
let's start with a highlight.
I'm gonna use this highlight color and see what happens. And I'll just put a little up here. Um,
Yeah,
and
for
just
someone
kind of
looking for a new moisturizer, this one is delicious. If you're feeling like you're in the dregs of winter, your
I
skin is super dry.
I was gonna ask you that, and I don't know how everybody feels, but as many of you know, I did my advent calendar, and thank you for all your comments. I did do the Liberty Advent calendar and found some new things and some things I've been using, but in there was my Augustinus Spotter
Mm,
moisturizer, which I
mhm.
love. So I've been using that. But is there anyone else out there, or even you, Hill? You know, I feel like these birthdays keep coming. I have another one in a couple of months coming. And I don't know if it's the winter, my age, I don't know what's happening, but I'm really feeling like even the extra rich cream is not enough. And I'm using a hyaluronic acid
Yeah.
and the cream, and I'm still feeling like my skin is a size too small. So, is
Yep.
anybody out there using anything that they're loving that they're just like, "Oh, I'm so hydrated that I
This
should get
this has
that?"
been the answer for me, and I think, a lot of it too is because I was at the point of where I was using, like, Egyptian magic, straight grease,
Yeah, yeah,
everything.
I did the other day. I needed,
This
like,
has
oil,
You can
Crisco.
feel that this feels like it's alive to me. It feels like it has nature and science. We're not being paid to promote this at all, period. Really surprised that I keep reaching for it. I got it, I received it. I was like, "Meh,"
Yeah,
whatever. And then I felt it and I thought, wow, this is something special. And you can see, this thing is supposed to last you 3 or 4 months.
yeah.
I'm almost halfway through it because I've been using it. I used it for a couple weeks while we were, in and out of being evacuated as my everything. And it's beautiful. And I've noticed that my skin stays hydrated because I'm just getting really parched.
I
So,
am so dry. Like, I am
mhm.
like a bone, like a dog with a
Well,
bone.
I owe you a lip liner. So I'll
Oh,
make you a
yeah.
little sample of this and I'll send you a little sample.
Oh, would you? Oh, thank
Mhm.
you. Oh, and I also sent a care package to you, so you should be getting that,
Ooh.
of everything that was in my, advent calendar, that I won't use because, you love those ouds, and
Yes,
we
I
know
do
my
love a good
hatred
oud.
of oud, so they're coming your way, my friend.
Look,
Oh, wow. What is that? Wait a minute, I
this
know that.
this is the Lisa
That's Lisa
Eldridge
Eldridge. I'm like, "I
lipstick.
know that. Wait a minute."
Yes. So this is her new refillable lipstick. She set out to create because vintage lipsticks used to be refillable. So she
Yes,
went and spent a ton of time, a ton of R&D, a lot of
yes.
investment in capital, a lot of investment in brain, and she created these really beautiful refillable completely 100% aluminum
So
recyclable
beautiful.
cases. So, of course, I got Audrey because,
Of
as we
course
all
you did.
know, she has Audrey Hepburn's original lip color and has kept it a secret as far as exactly which color it is. And
Oh.
she made it go lightly in another version, but now this is the Audrey, so I thought I'd try it on for you, Suze.
Oh, let me see. Oh, wait, I gotta put my glasses on.
Okay.
Oh, that's so pretty. That's so 60s.
Uh-huh. Now
That's so
it has
60s.
this really unique formula. So it goes on, I'm gonna show you on the cheek, it goes on a little sheer. It almost
Mm.
floats. It reminds me of Violette's Bisou Balm. It
Oh,
almost floats,
right. Those are
but you can
beautiful.
layer it to get as much color as you want, and it's right in between, like, a coral and a pink.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say,
It's
it's
a
a real
really
60s shade. It's
Mhm.
beautiful.
It's
I would
a
say
it
late 50s, early 60s if I was
it's
doing any history type makeup. That's like 1958, 1959 lip.
Yes, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to get another one for my kit because this is a
'cause you've
shade that's
stolen
gonna
that. Yeah,
go
yeah.
on anyone, and this is definitely a color if
That
someone
is
feels
so
like
pretty.
they're in the doldrums of, the winter and they're not quite ready to go for the fuchsia lip that we came on with,
Yeah,
try Lisa's, Audrey, because it is absolutely incredible, and I highly recommend lip, cheek, you're done.
I
No
love
other
it.
makeup if you don't wanna wear it, but I've been doing this little combo for quite some time. This actually arrived the morning or the afternoon before we were evacuated that evening, so I
Oh,
lived with just
oh.
these 2 things in my beauty kit. That's all.
Wow, that's
And
adorable.
my
I
beauty
love
hack
that.
roller, but just
Yeah,
this, and that
okay.
was it. So, thank you, Lisa. I love it, and it did cheer me up. I was, running
I
around in the
bet.
same clothes, and it was
Okay,
harrowing.
so I did my eyes. What do we think?
Beautiful.
Super soft and pretty, and I used these shades, just dancing them around. This one I used on the lid, a little bit in the crease, and then a highlight. I put a little bit of this deeper one underneath, put a little bit of mascara on top, and then look at this pretty highlight. This is the lightest shade that I did. Now, I'm gonna take my big dog brush,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna brush the whole thing.
Ooh, I like
Okay?
this. Yeah,
Look at me. Such a genius. And now I'm gonna put it on my cheek.
I love it.
Can you see that? Can you see that
Mhm.
color?
It's ethereal, and it's
Oh
not
my.
glittery, but it's just pretty.
Can I tell you? And now I'm putting it up here. This is so me. It's almost like a bronzy blush, but with a real there's no shimmer in this, it's a glow. This is absolutely gorgeous. I okay.
I love it.
Can you see it?
What do you guys think? I love it.
Yeah, what does everybody think?
Mhm.
This okay, so yeah, can you see the definition? Because
Mm.
I can even go in with the darker shade. And do a little bit more definition down there. What do we think?
It's beautiful. It's like
But
a full
I'm
look. It's
It's
like
a
a
full
full
look.
yeah.
But I love, how it's super natural and glowy, but with that pop lip and just the bronzy, peachy.
Yeah, it has a je ne sais quoi. Like, I don't know exactly what it is, but it looks great.
So this is an example of, and I'm sure you get asked this a lot, Hill, young makeup artists, whatever, they're like, "Oh, if I'm doing, cool tone blush, warm tone blush with cool tone lip, blah, blah, blah." Sometimes messing with that color theory and sometimes doing something that is, very warm on the skin, very peachy, warm with something cool, those little pops
The complementary
really
contrast.
complementary contrast creates something
Yeah.
that's really natural and really pretty.
Well,
So
and it's
don't
so
be afraid.
interesting. It's interesting to the eye and it creates a lot of dimension. Like, Marilyn used to wear several different red lip colors, a blue
Sure.
base and an orange base together
Yeah.
because it would amplify.
So this is a yes. This is a huge win. Now this is $90. So, it is not inexpensive, my friends. But you are getting with this your highlight, your blush, eyeshadow. I even use it as a little liner and then an all over bronzer highlighter. So you're getting four products, break it down,
Yeah.
I mean, it's an investment, but this is something that I would definitely just take this with a lip and a mascara and you're out the door, you
And
know?
that's gonna
You know, I
work
like my funky.
holiday, vacations, like, you're gonna use that's an evergreen product.
Yeah, and this is a color palette that I'll be honest with you, I would probably use this on just about most skin tones.
Yeah.
Probably someone who's, definitely more pigmented in their skin, more melanin. I think this might not show up as much, or it would look very, very ethereal looking.
Right.
But I would say on most, because I hate and really never uses. I know you don't. This works on anybody. It's like that. You'll hear me say that once in a blue moon because it's.
Right.
Let's face it, there is no product that just works on everybody. But I think this is something that will work on most or many people. So I would definitely give this a try. It's actually called what is it? Um, Jeu Jeu de lumière. Jeu de
Oh,
lumière. Poudre Lumière Multi-Usage Highlighter Palette.
love it.
So,
I
en
love
français.
multi-use.
Do you
Yeah,
love that?
that's
Okay.
really good.
It's
That's really
I
good.
mean, and I
Yeah,
have to tell you, it has that beautiful Chanel feel. Um, and then I think the last thing I just wanted to talk about, on our little grateful podcast, because it has been so dry. I mean, it's been terrible here, like terrible. And we just talked about my skin falling off. My hair has just been so dry. But sometimes you don't want to use an oil, right? You just want a product that's not going to weigh it down, that's just going to make it feel soft and take away the frizz, make it feel conditioned.
mhm.
And I have to tell you, the Kerastase, the overnight serum, I'll give you the official
Oh,
name. Again, another French product. The what is it? Kerastase Nutrive. I'm probably saying it, the 8-hour magic night serum.
ooh, okay, I'm
So
going
I'm
to
going to
cart.
explain. I don't just use this at night. I use this in the day if I've been wearing a hat or my hair feels like it's dry and frizzy.
Right?
So
Use
you
it right
put
now.
I'm going to use it right now in front of you. 1 to 2 pumps.
Okay.
Okay. It's a lightweight serum.
Uh-huh.
Rub your hands together. And then I literally just go like this with it. Okay. Then I will wrap it, pull and wrap
Right?
it, or you can use a bonnet or whatever and wrap it and sleep with it. So it's like an overnight serum mask. Or during the day, I'll just put it on and see what it just did. Look
Yeah.
at that. So it took away the frizz. It makes it look soft and conditioned with absolutely 100% no grease. and it doesn't weigh your hair down. It is just the most magnificent hair
Okay.
serum
I'm
I
gonna
have.
order it. I'm
No,
gonna order it and
it's
test
beyond.
drive it because we have the opposite hair. Yours is fine and thick. Mine is thick and coarse. And the challenge with me is to get the level of hydration that I need, it will start to look heavy. So, like, my hair loves oil, hates hairspray, all those kinds
Same.
of things. So, I'm gonna
It
try
still
this because
is.
I'm looking for something that will
Yes.
give it that shiny, shiny, like
Okay,
a
look at,
horse's
did it
mane. You know, when
did
girls
it
brush their
just
hair and they do this in the light?
well, look.
Yeah,
Okay, it just did that. But you sleep with it almost like,
right,
like, I'll put it on and then I'll put 2 pumps at night and then twist it and sleep with it. Wake up in the morning and your hair is totally refreshed. But during the day sometimes,
right.
because it's been so dry here,
You need
I
it.
will put 1 pump and then just like this, but it doesn't make it greasy or stringy or heavy. It just makes your hair look like you, I mean, but it feels and smells so good. Um,
I'm hoping it will be enough for me. I'm gonna
I
try it.
I feel like it is really enough. Like, it just,
All
I
right,
mean,
I'm gonna put it to the test. Stay tuned.
I am absolutely in love with this product,
Okay.
and every person I've turned on to this has called me and
Okay.
thanked
Well, I'm
me.
gonna try it because usually in order for me to
You'll
get
love it.
enough moisture, then it gets greasy. So I have tricky hair there. So I'm gonna try
I
it.
have not
Wonderful.
met anyone that hasn't liked this. So, it's the
Okay.
8-hour, technically it's a night serum, but like I said, I'll use it at night, I'll use
Whatever.
it during the day if I need to, but I this is something that, is worth the money. It's not
Okay.
inexpensive. I wanna say it's like $60, but this bottle, I feel like I've been using it I haven't even made, like, a dent in it. So,
Great.
2 pumps does your whole, I mean, I just did 1 because I had so much on from last night, but and it smells good.
I love the smell.
So, this is
Okay.
something I'm grateful for, I'm grateful that my hair is not frizzy and feels good. I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful that I have something new to play with and have a fun little lip and all these, little new things. But I just wanted to share those couple of new things for people who, maybe just want something new or need a little pick me up, or in a case of you really need it. This isn't a pick me up. This is like a my hair is damaged and needs
Right.
some love and needs some attention. And this stuff really works.
Well, I think we have a hair episode coming up because people have been asking us to
Oh,
do
really?
a hair episode,
Oh, I
and
didn't know that.
yes,
Oh, well,
yes,
let's
people have
see,
been
'cause
asking us. So coming up, friends, we are gonna be doing a hair episode coming up, and I'm gonna have a lot to say about it because I have a little
ooh,
confession. I have
mm.
started coloring, and as of just a few days ago, cutting my own hair.
Are we gonna have to do an intervention with that?
Possibly,
Or
very
okay,
possibly. Very
I'm gonna have
We're
to
gonna
am I
see how this goes.
wait, am I gonna have to fly to LA and take the
Maybe,
scissors out of your hands? Because
maybe,
I know you, and
maybe.
this isn't gonna go well for anybody. But, yeah, I think we should definitely do a hair. I'm super into hair. I always have been. Um, and I am fortunate enough to have the same hair goddess taking care of my hair for over, well, almost we're 18 year, almost 20 years
Mhm.
we've been together. Um, and Yeah, I have gotten some great tricks and tips from her over the years, and then working with some of the best people in the industry like you. Anyone that works in makeup always works with someone in hair.
Always.
So, I think we should absolutely do a hair episode and talk about the products we like, and also really bring up a very, I think, a touchy subject that I've been seeing a lot on the internet, and I'm sure you've seen this too, especially since, we've just had The Substance come out, and congratulations to Demi Moore for her Academy Award recognition for that role in The Substance. But talking about women over the age of 50 with long hair. Well,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
looking at 2 of them. And I mean, you can't it's long. We got long hair here, people. And you
I
know,
can't wait to talk about this.
I want to talk about this on our next episode. Why don't we make that our next episode? Since
Deal.
this one was about gratefulness and things that we're grateful for, and little fun things to cheer everybody up in this gloomy January. Let's make our next episode next week about hair, and let's really talk about it and talk about the products we like, but also really talk about this topic of what style is appropriate. When do
Mhm.
you cut your hair? Do you cut your hair? What does that even mean? You know, so I think that that is
I think
something
we're
that
gonna
I've
take
been
a poll
seeing.
too. So we wanna hear from you guys. We wanna
Yeah.
know where you live and
Hmm.
what you think, because this is definitely going to be demographic driven by
I
your
think so.
location. I think we're going to
Yeah.
hear different things according to location, and that's something that I struggle with all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, when is long too long? Do I look like an old lady with long hair? Do I look like I'm trying too hard? Like, they're this is such a big deal. We've touched on it
Yeah.
before, but I think we're going to really need to dive into it. And I really want to hear from our audience. And Susan, over the next few days, and when you're out and about, will you just ask some people? Let's all talk to people, random strangers and friends, and see what they think about hair and
Yeah.
age.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's such a huge topic. I think everything from, do you have bangs or not, or a fringe, like, is that something you should do or not? Should you have long hair over 50? Should you have short hair? Should you curl your hair? Should you keep it
Should you
straight? Like,
care?
there's hair is so polarizing. I think
Yeah.
it's even more polarizing than makeup.
Oh
So,
yeah. Look at Lady Godiva. I mean, come
yeah.
on, right?
Yeah, hair is really and really brings out the worst in some people with their opinions. But and as we know, we really don't care about people's opinions with our own self. So I think we should talk about that next week for
Let's do
sure.
it.
Let's talk about
It's
hair.
on. Love
It's
it.
on. Let's
Big
talk
topic.
about it.
Big
Let's
topic.
do it. It is a big topic. Yeah. And
Mhm.
I'll grab some other things besides the
Yeah, let's
Kerastase,
push some buttons.
some things that I really have been using that help. And that's another little point we should talk about too, is hair after menopause, right? I mean,
Oh,
it's not just
yeah.
about society's views of hair length and hairstyles and hair colors. Go gray, or color your hair, keep it long or cut it off. But how does your hair change as
Mhm.
you get older? Let's talk about things that are happening with hormonal changes and how that affects hair, because I think that is
It's a big deal.
probably
It
what I
it
get the
affects
most questions,
Yeah,
you know?
it affects, texture as much as it affects color, and I'd also like for us to talk about some of the influences in our life. Like, we don't care what Sally Joe or Bobby Lou or any Tom, Dick, or Harry has to say, but let's talk a little bit about the people in our homes and their feelings too, because sometimes that can
The
drive the bus.
people in our homes. You mean
Mhm.
my hair family? We are such a hair family. Yes. My
Yes.
husband has the best hair in the whole
Here
world.
too, we're
My son has always had long hair. My daughter's hair is down her back. Like, we're known as a hair family, and we all see Gemma. Like, we all have my
yeah.
hairstylist has my whole family and has since the kids were born. She gave them their first haircut. So we can talk about that too, because hair is something that is,
Pardon me.
bless you, near
Me
and dear to my heart and my family's heart. And I think a lot of people too, you know, really, it's such a hot
It's a
topic.
hot topic. Mhm.
Yeah. So let's talk
Ooh,
about
I
it.
can't wait.
I
All right,
know. So
everybody,
come
get your
back.
questions. Get your questions ready. We're talking about hair. We're gonna get controversial. We're gonna get emotional. The gloves are off, and we're going there. So
We
maybe
go in
we'll
there.
do some little polls in Instagram and TikTok beforehand,
Oh,
and
that's a good
um,
idea.
mhm, we're gonna talk
Let's
hair.
do it.
So
Let's do it.
meanwhile, stay grateful. Stay
Stay grateful,
Stay grateful,
please.
stay
Stay
glossy,
grateful and
make your list,
glossy.
even if it's just in your head,
And
and
follow us on Instagram too, because I will post um, these new products that we
yep,
just talked about today. I
I'll
will
do the
post
same.
these on Instagram. So if anyone has any questions, ask away. I will get active on there again. I know it took the life out of me doing doing the daily advent calendar, but I did it for
You
everybody.
did
I
it.
took
I know
all
I didn't wanna interrupt you, so now that that's done, I'll jump in a little bit more too. I wanted to let you do your
No,
do.
listen, Hillary, just so everybody knows the truth behind the smoke and mirrors of our podcast, Hillary is the one who is responsible for TikTok. Don't be looking for me on TikTok because I don't even know how to use it. I had a celebration when it went dark for 10 minutes, okay? Because I am so deathly afraid of it and I have to get over it. I know, but Instagram, I'm the one who tends to try to handle that portion for us. So if it's not going well, it's my fault. But Hillary is the goddess. She knows TikTok, loves TikTok, and so
I
she
just
handles
haven't done
that
much there
portion.
lately. I've been a little distracted, so
Yeah, yeah.
we'll
So
all get
bear
better,
with
but
us,
follow
guys.
us
We're
there.
back. We're back.
Yeah. Follow us there, follow us here, and please share us with your friends. We would love to grow in 2025. We haven't even officially made an announcement to beauty editors or anyone else. This has been a friends and family project, but we are sending our baby out into the world this year. So
Let's
please tell
go for
everybody
it.
about us. We'd be so grateful.
We'd be so grateful. Support us, love us.
Mhm.
We want to spread the word in 2025 as we
Yep,
did all last year. Beauty is for everyone, and beauty especially needs to be seen, felt, and loved by women over 50. So please,
that's
please,
right.
please remember us. So stay grateful and stay glossy.
That's right. Stay grateful and stay glossy. See you guys soon.
See you.